stride is another very, very important part of pitching. I think a lot of girls take too short of a stride, and there are some girls that take too long of a stride. And there is kind of a basic principle, and you can use this with your pitcher, and I like to try this on myself, is I like to kind of mark off with my feet. So I'll put my heel at the front of the mound, and I'll mark off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And ideally, you know, it depends on the age of the girl and her size. You want to be somewhere between 5 and 7. Now, 7's pretty long, and we're talking about a much taller girl. But measure your child's stride and see where she's at. If she's at a 3, I think you need to work on stride. And what stride does is it helps to get everything balanced. If you have too short of a stride, as soon as this front toe gets down, which let's say it's a very short stride, it a lot of times will trigger those hips to start to close. So the front step gets through, the hips want to close. So you lengthen the stride out, you work on the drag, and it keeps you nice and open at release. Okay? And there are quite a few drills you can do to work on leg drive and stride. As you're coming off the mound, okay, and we'll talk about feet placement on the mound and pre-pitch motion and everything, which I think are very important, but right now we're just referring to stride. You want to get this leg nice and drive it up and out. Now, I'm not saying that we want to leap off the mound. I'm not promoting leaping. I'm talking about driving, which means that this leg comes up timed with the arms, and you, as you're coming up to the top of your circle, you're driving out and you pivot open. Here I am planted and I'm at my X. Okay? My stride is nice and long. It's not too long or not too short. Okay, for me it's like 6, 6.5. That means you can get that front leg down in enough time to get your arms in position and then drive through that open hip. Okay, so watch for your pitchers that have too short of a stride. And another thing you'll see is a very short, close to the ground leg drive, meaning your pitcher will just come up and go. Okay, you want to really get this leg up and drive it out so you can push off the mound with this back, butt, and hip. Okay, so you're here on the mound, okay, and you're coming out and you're getting this leg up, and it's all driving up and out towards your catcher. Okay, a lot of pitchers just feel like they want to stay in their little area. I want to see somebody who's aggressive, who's using their legs and driving out towards their catcher and throwing the ball through their catcher, not just to their catcher, and that's very important. You see a lot of girls who don't do that. They just want to get it there. Okay, so make sure that when you're talking about stride and leg drive, you're getting that leg up and out, not just up and down. Okay, so not just up and then a short little step. Okay, you want to see it up and out. Okay, and remember, it's very important that we pivot at the top of the circle. Don't pivot too soon, which then throws your arm out over here, which then throws your arm behind you, and you have a bad arm circle. Come straight out, pivot, open, power position, snap, release, finish. Like I was saying, you want to make sure that you have a stride that's long enough and not too long. And I refer to myself and saying I usually am around the 6, 6.5 mark. I want to let you know I'm 5'10", and so that will help you out to know how tall or short your pitcher will be and what you're looking for. If you have a very small child, it might even be less than 5. So you just want to make sure that if you have a child that's, you know, in the 5'6" to 5'11", 6 foot range, you're looking for a 5 to a 7. But if they're much, much smaller, just make sure that she's actually getting this leg up and striding it out, and she's feeling when she plants that her arms are here. And you can always use a camera, a video camera to watch that, or also take pictures. If you can take successive pictures to see where she's at, that'll really help her. And she should also think about feeling this, and feeling when she throws it right and feeling when she throws it wrong. If you have a pitcher who's trying all these things and working on this, and yet it's not working for them and they're so worried about having to throw strikes, have your pitcher close her eyes and just have her try to feel her body doing it correctly and feeling herself getting into position and feeling herself pivoting and everything. And a lot of times that will help her, and she'll think she's going to throw the ball all over the place, but a lot of times she'll end up throwing a lot better than when she's got her eyes open and she's so worried about the result instead of getting it done correctly with her body. So that's very important.